it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another video. Today guys, I am jumping on a trend. I know this like never happens. I am usually like a year late to trends. Just don't keep up, okay? I can't keep up with the youngins anymore, okay? But today I'm jumping on the trend, and it is the trend of the folding of the wrap situation on TikTok. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Okay, this is like a big deal on TikTok, but we're not gonna do tortilla wraps, okay? Because I'm sorry, but that's old news. Okay, that was so last week. Okay, we are doing sushi wraps or nori wraps or seaweed wraps. I don't know what to call these, okay? Seaweed fold wraps? Sure, let's call it that. So basically we're making sushi and kimbap in the TikTok folding style. And no, this was not my idea. I wish this was my idea. I saw it like floating around in Korean YouTube circles. I was like, ooh, I need to do that. So yeah, I thought I would give the vegan take, the vegan spin, and show you guys some different ideas on what to put in these wraps. So yeah, these are perfect for anybody that's kind of like intimidated by rolling seaweed rolls like kimbap or sushi. I know it can be a little intimidating, especially if you are new to cooking. So this is gonna be a little bit of an easier version. Yeah, hopefully you guys find this interesting, helpful, fun. Make sure you share it with people if you like it, and let's get started.
Just a friendly reminder that there will be a written blog post linked down below with the recipes and measurements for all these ideas, so don't forget to check that out for more information. Idea number one is going to be a folded kimbap. If you don't know, kimbap is Korean seaweed rice rolls. So it's similar to sushi, but it's not exactly sushi. So first, we are going to take some cooked short grain brown rice. You can use brown or white, and add some toasted sesame oil and a pinch of salt, and we're gonna mix this well. Just a reminder that you must use short grain or sushi rice, otherwise your rice will not stick to the seaweed. Next thing I'm going to do is prepare some carrots. I'm going to cut them julienne style, of course, first by slicing them diagonally into thin slices, and then slicing those pieces into very thin slices. Am I making sense? Yeah. Anyways, you can also use store-bought grated carrots or grate some carrots in a food processor if you aren't comfortable with your knife skills. It's optional if you want to cook your carrots or not. I decided to cook them for this particular recipe because usually kimbap uses cooked carrots, but you can use raw carrots as well. I'm just going to add a little oil in a pan and then cook the sliced carrots for just a few minutes until softened, adding in little splashes of water as needed. To season, I'm simply adding a pinch of salt. And now for the fun part, we can start assembling the folded kimbap. So first we're going to take one nori sheet, which is dried seaweed. This is of course what you need for kimbap or sushi. And then we are going to cut it halfway on one side, like so. I like to use like kitchen scissors, so that's what I'm doing. Then we are going to place rice on two of the quadrants. And first of all, I recommend having a bowl of water beside you to dip your fingers in, because that prevents the rice from sticking to your fingers. And I recommend using your fingers in your hands to do this. And also I decided to place the rice on the third and fourth quadrants so that the rice would end up on the outside layers of the folded kimbap, kind of like a rice sandwich. Okay, this took me some time to figure out, and I kept getting a little bit confused. And I wouldn't say that it's absolutely necessary that you place the rice on those specific quadrants, but I do think that, you know, maybe it makes it a little bit easier to stay together. On top of the rice in the fourth quadrant, we're going to add some of those carrots. And on the other rice bed, I placed some Korean pickled radishes, which I've sliced into thin pieces. And the pickled radishes you can find in your Korean supermarket. Then in the second quadrant, we are going to place two pieces of vegan Spam and then avocado slices in the first quadrant. So if you haven't tried my vegan Spam, aka homemade smoked tofu recipe, you must try it, guys. It's so good, especially in this recipe. I'll link it down below for you guys. And if you don't have the vegan Spam, if you're too lazy, you can also use smoked tofu, but smoked tofu is kind of hard to find nowadays. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, make your own if you can. Link is down below. And when you are ready, you can simply fold over this wrap starting from the first quadrant, which is where we place the avocado, and you just want to fold it until the final quadrant. And now that's pretty much it, guys. you can simply enjoy it like this. And there's enough flavor from the vegan Spam and the pickled radishes that I feel like you don't need to add anything else or dip it in anything, but feel free to do so if you want. And I decided to cut mine diagonally just to show you guys the inside and also take some photos, but this is definitely not necessary, and I probably wouldn't recommend cutting it in half unless you wrap it first to secure everything, because it does make it more prone to breakage and to falling apart if you do cut it, and I just feel like it's not necessary to cut it. So yeah, I would just eat it the way it is, like this, okay? For the second idea, we are going to be using the same rice method as the first because we're also going to be making another version of kimbap. So you can make the rice the same way that we did in the first recipe. And then I'm going to show you guys a super easy way of making what I call eggy pan-fried tofu. This is my easiest way of making tofu kind of taste like eggs. So all I'm doing is adding a little oil onto a non-stick pan on medium-high heat, and then we're going to cook some tofu. I like to use medium firm tofu for this because I feel like the consistency becomes kind of like a fried egg, but you can also use like firm tofu or extra firm. And the pieces are around 1 centimeter thick, I would say. So they're thin, but they're not too thin. And then the trick is to cook this on each side for around 3 to 5 minutes. And don't move things around, just be patient and let it cook. Then we want to flip the tofu pieces around, and then you'll see that they became a nice golden color. And this is the color that you love to see. It's so beautiful. After you flip, you can add pinches of kala namak, which is also known as black salt, which has a bit of an eggy taste and smell. And I find when I add this onto tofu, it almost makes the tofu seem like fried eggs, and it really gives me that feel. You see? You know what I'm saying? So you can add this, add as much as you want. I just like to add a small amount onto each piece. And then I let the other side cook for another 3 or 4 minutes or so. Sometimes I flip it again if I want the first side to cook a little bit more. And that's it for the tofu. That easy. Let's set this aside. Next, we're going to slice some mushrooms and let that cook as well with a little bit of oil until nicely browned. And to season the mushrooms, I decided to simply add some garlic powder and some salt. Now we can start folding again. Once again, we want to cut the nori sheet halfway on one side, and we place the rice on the last 2 quadrants once again. Once again, wet your hands with a little bit of water to make this easier. And on the last quadrant, I added the mushrooms on top of the rice. And on the second quadrant, I added some of the tofu pieces, and I had to cut them a little bit to fit the square. And in the first quadrant, I just added some baby spinach. And I decided that this needed a little more color, so I'm adding in some grated carrots on top of the other bed of rice. And once again, they can be cooked or uncooked. And now we are ready to fold. That is the second idea, guys. Doesn't this look fabulous? And keep in mind that these are simply some ideas, and you can feel free to add other ingredients as well and get creative with this.
All right, you guys, I just want to interrupt this program because I have a message from our sponsor, which is May. Yes, I am sponsoring today's video with $0, okay? I just wanted to plug our podcast. If you guys have not listened yet to the SaVeg podcast, or if you don't know, my friend Daniel and I, we do a podcast, weekly podcast called the SaVeg Podcast. We are on your favorite podcast streaming platforms. We're also on YouTube because we do film the podcast and put the video versions out on YouTube. So all the information for you to listen, for you to watch will be down below. We also have a Patreon account where we do bonus episodes only for the Patrons. So that's a lot of fun as well. But yeah, we basically talk about trending topics, news stories that we find interesting, and we give our SaVeg take on those topics.
Those balls that hang out from the bottom of the truck.
What are these balls? Is it actually intentionally supposed to look like balls?
Rose, 100% these are balls.
Okay, how do I Google this? Truck balls?
Just type in.
What is the purpose?
So the purpose of it is to show that your
Ultimate
truck's a
vehicle
man.
So if you guys want to join us over there in our little podcast community, then all the information is below.
And for the third idea, we're going to be making some folded sushi this time. For the rice, we're going to use the same type of rice, which is short grain or sushi rice once again, and we're going to add this into a bowl along with some rice vinegar. I also like to add in a pinch of salt and a pinch of sugar, and I mix this well. I like to also let the rice cool down at least to room temperature, so sometimes I like to put it in the fridge while we prep the other ingredients. For the protein, we are going to make my go-to chickpea salad, which is super easy and delicious. First, let's drain some canned chickpeas and rinse them thoroughly with water. Then we want to place them in a bowl and mash with a fork. Then I decide to add some kelp granules, which will give this a bit of a seafoody flavor. And this part is totally optional. By the way, you don't need to do this. Yeah, after that, we're gonna add some onion powder, garlic powder, vegan mayo, Dijon mustard, and then we want to mix everything very well. At this point, you can give this a little taste and then add salt and pepper as needed. Now we can assemble once again by cutting up that nori sheet like we did before. And once again, I'm placing the rice in the third and fourth quadrants. But this time I just spread it all across. I think I just forgot to put it separately. So I just made one big rectangle, and yeah, it doesn't really make a difference. So you can do that. It's up to you if you want to make the rice into two separate square beds or just one big rectangle. And in the other two quadrants, let's add the chickpea salad and then slices of avocado, of course. And let's also add some carrots on top of the rice in the last quadrant. And this part is optional, but you can also add some coconut aminos or soy sauce onto one of the quadrants. I'm adding this on top of the avocado, or you can choose to just dip this into soy sauce after you fold it. That part is up to you. I just thought it'd be easier to just add some soy sauce into the folded sushi. So yeah, there you have it. This is the delicious folded sushi, ready to eat, looking fabulous. And hopefully you guys love this because I'm pretty obsessed with this idea. I think it's so fun because I know a lot of people are very scared of making sushi, cutting it up, and it's like a whole ordeal. And I feel like this makes it a little bit easier. And it's also, it's just like a fun little way of eating sushi.
All right, you guys, so that is it for the seaweed fold wrap thingy ideas. We need a better name for these, okay? Just putting that out there. Anyways, I hope you found this interesting. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you try this out because they're so much fun. If you guys want more of these videos, let me know below because I feel like I can come up with more ideas on what to put inside these little wraps. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok if you use TikTok. Yes, I'm trying to be like a TikToker person. I'm feeling old every minute I spend on TikTok. But I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. It's a work in progress. So yeah, follow me on TikTok. Let me know what you want to see on TikTok. And of course, listen to the podcast, the SaVeg podcast. Information is down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Ooh, bye!